Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, the best of both worlds, in concert. Best of both worlds concert. Yes. If you don't know the reference of Best of Both Worlds, no, it is not a Van Hagar reference. Huh. I'm old. It is. Um, it is. I think it's a theme song of her TV show, which we haven't watched yet. This has a notable distinction of being the very first Hannah Montana thing in over 870 some episodes. We've had no episode. We have no movie. We know no. I don't know if they have shorts. This is the first thing. First Miley Cyrus thing. She's one of the Disney queens or princesses. Well, not an animated princess, but one of the Disney Channel queens. Let's just say that she, for a time, ruled with an iron fist. No, she ruled as Hannah Montana. She was the biggest thing on the Disney Channel, probably more so slightly than the Jonas Brothers. I don't know. I mean, it all depends. I don't know that era at all. I am not an expert in anything relating to Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus. I will not claim that. This is from 2008. Speaking of eras, and it's an hour and 23 minutes long. Yeah, it's a concert movie. But it's also a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and that's actually to me the most fascinating part of it. I kind of spent many years backstage, behind the scenes, doing little tiny concerts all the way up to massive festivals up to over 100,000 people. I've been backstage and doing all that stuff, and so seeing all this brings back a lot of memories and sees what goes into it. Yeah, I mean, it really just brushes the surface because honestly, the people who are watching this are not going to be people who are like, oh, I want to watch the technical aspects of how they do the pyrotechnics versus the lighting, and while they do the band practice and the costuming. No, it's 8-year-old girls at best. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just this is made for little girls. This is made for preteen girls who are the audience at this concert. It's the massive screamathon that, yes, I mean, one of the guys running the show, actually they cut away to him at one point. He's like, I've never heard anything so loud. It is like standing next to a jet engine when it revs up. And it's actually worse. It's actually probably more harmful to your hearing. It's I've been in those situations. I've never been to a Hannah Montana concert or anything like this. Well, I've been to something like this. I've been to Comic Con during the years, probably right around, I think this year even, or 2009, or 2008. I don't remember. It was 2008 when Twilight first appeared at Comic Con, and somehow tons and tons of Twilight fans got into Hall H because they were willing to spend a week in line to make sure they got good seats. They didn't care that Avatar or anything else was premiering around it or after it or near it. They just wanted to see Robert Pattinson, and I have never heard a louder scream in my life than the louder sound in my life than sitting there amongst a horde of, that room fits 6,500 people approximately. I'm betting probably about 5,000 of them were Twilight fans. Whew, it seemed like it anyway. They were loud enough to be 10 times that. I I was sitting next to a guy who was on his laptop, like he was a reporter. He was kind of writing up things for his blog post or whatever. And when Robert Pattinson's name was mentioned, the air in the room literally changed. The pressure, everything. He had a laptop on his lap, like a pretty hefty one, 2008, so they were a little chunkier than they are now. And he risked losing his laptop, like falling down and breaking, just to cover his ears. Yeah. So if you get an idea, it kind of gives you an idea of what it's like to watch this. Part of me wants to say, you know what? I wish there was a way to filter out the screaming, but then it wouldn't be a concert video, and it's pretty tamped down. I mean, in the mix, it's all right. It's not oppressive. It's not overbearing. too much. But you realize that it is just an hour and a half of incessant tween screaming. That's it. It's a little nerve wracking if you're not used to it, and I can imagine those poor parents who had to take their 6 and 7 and they interviewed some of the kids like in some of the cutaways from the between the songs, and they looked like they were just born yesterday, and they just learned words enough words to go Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, not in that voice, but it's just ooh. Yeah, they put on little blonde wigs, like they're dressing up as Hannah Montana, doing their Hannah Montana cosplay, because that's what Miley Cyrus does. Or, honestly, is that her character? She doesn't play herself. No, I mean I don't know what her other character is. I'm sure I'll find out if I ever watch. Well, I will eventually if I continue long enough. Um, anyway, yes, this concert I didn't hate it. Is never gonna watch it again. No, it's not like something. Oh my gosh, let me revisit that and just the magic. No, it's never gonna be a thing. But Miley Cyrus, I will absolutely admit, is a talented young woman. She does know how to sing. She has a great Southern smoker's bourbon whiskey voice. Now that she's all grown up, hopefully she doesn't. Hopefully she doesn't smoke. That'd be awful. For a woman who has such a strong voice. I think she just has a great voice when she's singing good songs. And a lot of this stuff, yes, it's focused on stuff that little girls and teenagers, girls her age, would associate with. So you're not going to get anything too risque. You're not going to get anything too rough or too complex, let's just say. This is reflecting who she is at that time. And yes, her and her dad, Billy Ray, who appears in this also, and her mom, he says, she writes her music, she writes her songs. And I imagine that is the case. I would imagine that's the case for some of it. But I imagine the arrangement of the tunes, they are so early 2000s. So more than likely somebody orchestrates the music, puts the music together, and they lay her words over top. And it's that's the way the music business works. You're not the Beatles. You're not U2. You're not like these high level bands that have ultimate power over their destiny. Even if you're Miley Cyrus, to be able to go, you know what, I'm gonna sing about controversial topics that I care about. No, she's not going to do that. She's a girl on the Disney Channel. Disney Channel has certain rules. So it is interesting to see there is a definite change in sound between Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, which, by the way, totally breaks the rules of her world. Aren't they the same person, but they're supposed to be different? Like the non-Hannah Montana character is supposed to be like an average girl from a small town or something, but she's secretly a rock star that only certain people know, and that's the thing. Okay, of course you're going to come out here and do Miley Cyrus as well. But she starts out the show as Hannah Montana, and you got the wig on, and she's got the day glow color outfits that looks like she's 10, and it's a lot of safe songs, a lot of very upbeat, energetic, poppy songs, and that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense, especially for the audience, especially for the age. I mean, honestly, it's like pixie sticks, just oh, that was not good. It's just mainlining pixie sticks and just dancing. That's pretty much what the Hannah Montana aspect of part of the show is. And then they're like, oh wait, we're gonna go out, and the Jonas Brothers join the show, and they do a few songs, allowing Miley to change into herself. It gives her a little bit of break. They do a couple songs, and of course the girls are still constantly screaming because it's the Jonas Brothers. Come on, and they do their part well. They play their own instruments, which I'm sure they do, but of course they have a full backing band. I mean, literally the guys could just be strumming along, and they might not be plugged in, and they're not going to miss a beat because there's a full band behind them. I mean, Nashville studio and touring rock stars who whose business it is to hit every note perfectly and make everybody look good. So, yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, they know how to work a crowd. They know they have the energy. And hey, if you only have to do 3 or 4 songs in a night, it's a good deal. You know, you're the middle opening act for Miley Cyrus. So yeah, then she comes out as herself, and you can tell they tune down the guitars a little bit. It's a little bit sultrier. I don't want to say that because she's still the same person. She's still the same age, but I think her uh, lyrics and I think the musical approach is a bit more mature than Hannah Montana, of course, because Hannah Montana is supposed to be safer, and she's certainly not yet the Miley Cyrus we now know and love now, because the Miley we know now is a lot more mature. She has definitely grown up, and that is not a judgment in any way, because hey, it's her life, it's what she wants to do, it's how she wants to be. That's awesome. Do it. Do it. She's not beholden to every 6-year-old who is now 20. It's just the way it is. Her fans have grown up, and she gets to grow up too. So, go Miley. So, I can't say that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to buy the new Miley Cyrus album. It's just not my thing. But I wouldn't. If she did a real concert in a small venue, I would definitely go. I think she, in that kind of situation, I think she'd be great. Because I have a feeling I wouldn't be surrounded by screaming 6-year-olds. Because she's definitely not the same. She's definitely not Hannah Montana anymore. So, that's all right. So, hey, you take it for what it is. This is made definitely for those fans from that era, from 2008 and before, and who grew up with Hannah Montana, who grew up with Miley, and always, I can't imagine a better situation. Like, you've watched this girl on TV over and over since you could comprehend television. and you're like, oh my gosh, my dad just ran a race in high heels to win us 4 tickets and backstage passes. Yes, that is actually featured in the film at one point, where a bunch of dads have to strap on high heels and do a foot race to win these tickets. So, for one of the shows, I'm not sure where, but the guy sounded fairly southern, so it might be Nashville. Yeah, I think it's a fun show. It's definitely hits all the parts. It's very positive. It's very upbeat. It's very energetic, and it reflects the fans and it reflects her in that time of her career. And I don't think she has anything to be ashamed of. There's a lot of kids come from the Disney world, and they it's almost like a violent backlash. And some people may have seen that as Miley's situation too, but it becomes a violent, almost neck-breaking, neck-snapping whiplash change from I'm an innocent girl on the Disney Channel to check out me, I'm just crazy and naked and sexy. And like, it's a reaction to being held back from being herself all that time. She's discovering herself now because, she's suddenly turns 18 or 21, and now she can drink everybody under the table. So you see that with a lot of artists, and we get a lot of it's kind of, there's a lot that goes into all that, the reasoning behind that. But this is not the place to discuss that here. But yeah, I can't imagine being put in that situation of trying to be the perfect girl constantly for all of your young life, because you're a role model, and then just going, you know what, I'm myself, and I'm still a public figure. Guess what? Deal with it. Yeah. But if you want to see Miley in her prime in a live concert, and she does sing, and you can see that it is not fully utilizing her talents vocally. These songs, they're lovely songs as they are, but they are not what we see now. It's telling, and but it's good. You got to start somewhere, so good for her. Let's pick tomorrow's episode now that I've beaten that into the ground.
555.
555. The number of the human. 555. Oh, okay. This is one of the newer things that just was added in this past quarter to Disney Plus. It's a series that I think appeared on ABC originally, and it might still be running. I don't know, but it is a modern. It's a. I think it's modern. I don't know what era it's set in, but it's a newer version of a classic show that you might know the name, recognize the name of. This is The Wonder Years. Yeah, it's not the original one with Kevin in the 1950s or 60s. Yeah, not the 60s. It is the updated version. So yeah, we'll check out an episode or two of that, and then we'll come back here and I'll talk about it tomorrow. The Wonder Years, the new one, not the old one, on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. See you back here.